Oh, nobody cares.
This is a Cosmic Octave original podcast.
Me and Jake running down the street with a handful of comic books, kicking ass and banging chicks and drinking booze
No, not
and
me.
smoking
Not
weed.
me. I'm married.
Yeah, well,
I'm married.
Jake.
Can't do that.
Yeah. Off panel, off topic with Jake and Tyler.
What's up, everybody?
Yeah.
It's gonna be an interesting week.
Electrician's Day.
Happy Boxing Day, because that's when we're recording this. But
Electrician's Day.
have you actually ever had the meaning of Boxing Day explained to you?
I once looked it up, but I can't remember.
According to someone,
It's the Boxer Revolution, right?
no.
Oh.
According to
It's the day when everybody in Canada beats the shit out of each other.
no.
That sounds fun, though.
That sounds like a good holiday.
Like everybody
No.
just punches you as you walk by.
It really is like Christmas for poor people, is what it is. Is because all of the help would work on Christmas Day for the royal family.
Ah.
So they wouldn't get to celebrate Christmas.
Mm.
And then they would get boxes from the royal family, and then they would celebrate their Christmas on the 26th. So, and that is from someone that lived in England. So
What the fuck ever.
that is the true meaning of the
It's
holiday.
from England. I always, one thing as an American, I always forget that Canada is basically an English colony.
Yeah.
You know?
They
I forget
they
that a
still
lot.
acknowledge
The Queen is
and
on
shit.
their money and shit. Yeah.
But anyway, on this weird diatribe about Boxing Day,
Fuck Canada, man.
it doesn't even matter because this episode will go up the 27th.
Yeah.
But any Hoosiers, we were originally going to do, this is how silly we are.
Boxing Day. What?
Because we originally were going to have this week be the off-panel, off-topic awards, or the opties, or whatever you want to call them.
Oh, that's what you were asking me. I was like, what?
And
Just throw your hands up. You fuck.
what have we been talking about for weeks? No, honestly, we didn't. With Christmas and everything, it was hard for us to actually come up with funny topics.
I was busy yesterday a
and
lot.
categories.
Sleeping.
So we wanted to, and then we realized, well, holy shit, Hawkeye's ending and The Matrix is coming out. Both things that we wanted to watch. So why not just watch those, do reviews on them,
Yep.
and then we'll push the opties to next week. And it works.
Whatever the fuck we want.
It's a pointless award show, like
dude.
every other award show.
It's our show.
That's what I really want to drive home is how pointless award shows are.
Yeah.
And that's really what we're gonna do next
There,
week.
you get to see some moments where you're like, oh, celebrities are real people, you know.
But then it's also
mostly
like it's just another fake
I'll say
production
this.
by Hollywood.
I'll say this: the Grammys are usually pretty good because they usually have some pretty fucking great musical numbers and unexpected pairings, you know. But other ones, yeah, it's like watching the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, it kind of is. Yeah, for a sports comparison, it does feel like that, like an All-Star game or a Pro Bowl, where it's like
The baseball All-Star game is worth watching, though.
Honestly,
It means something.
I'm not someone that and I'm not trying to disparage people that do enjoy movies like this, that are like hardcore like cinephiles and are people that like watch a lot of these Oscar bait movies and have it's fine if you enjoy those movies and fine if you watch them, but like that's not fun for me, and that's why I don't like award shows, because I don't feel like they represent everything. And it's just another glorification of Hollywood.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
oh, like you need any more glory, you fucking dildos.
I mean, more proof of that is when you see Netflix shows get shut out of award stuff because they're streaming, and it's like, who fucking cares? Why are we gatekeeping entertainment? And honestly, I've always thought award shows were silly because award shows don't dictate what movies I like.
No,
they never have.
I used to be really into the Oscars. Like I used to go to Oscar watching parties and shit. Seriously.
Yeah.
And we would get fucking hammered, dude, and I wouldn't remember a thing. It's great.
And look,
Nothing
I'm not going to
party.
pretend it isn't nice when like Into the Spider-Verse wins an Academy Award for best animation, or things like that. Like when superhero movies win, it's cool, but it's also still like I don't care about this.
Well, even if a movie
award stuff,
even if a movie is really really good, like it's shut out. Like okay, No Way Home. No spoilers here, but seriously, one of the better movies I've seen in a long time, like in general.
If No Way Home,
But you know why it's not gonna get a shot at the Oscars for any reason? A, it's a superhero movie. B, it plays on nostalgia, which I don't know why.
well, and also most importantly, C is extremely fucking nerdy, and you have to be really invested in the MCU.
Yeah, well, the fucking Godfather 2 won the goddamn Academy Award, so fuck off.
So that's why our award show is going to be kind of silly and stupid and kind of
silly and stupid, just like me and Cooper.
And we're gonna award the real movies like Godzilla versus Kong. Is,
fuck yeah, the best badass fucking.
You know what?
Yeah.
Fuck it. I'll say it.
Let's do it.
Godzilla versus Kong. That's in the running. That's a candidate for
Best Picture?
the Opti Best Picture of 2021.
Fucking yeah.
Just because all this did is, you know what? I enjoyed that
You know what
movie.
else is in the running? Dune.
Absolutely.
Matrix
Spider-Man.
Resurrections. Spider-Man.
Matrix, really? We'll get into that.
Oh yeah.
So
I think it's right
actually a
up there.
perfect segue. Let's talk about
Sweet.
one of the two things we're going to be reviewing today. The Matrix Resurrections came out on Wednesday.
And then I think Shang-Chi rounds it out.
No, there's more. There's more.
Whatever.
Venom, Let There Be Carnage. No, I'm kidding.
Whatever.
Best Spider-Man movie.
I'm all sullen.
Best Spider-Man property. Venom. No.
Yeah.
No
How
way.
the fuck? I'm Spider-Man. I don't even
Look,
win my own category,
I
dude.
liked Venom, but
It was
there's no
fun.
way in hell I'm ever going to say Let There Be Carnage was better than No Way Home. 'Cause
No.
That's bullshit, because No Way Home was fantastic.
Yeah, no.
Um,
I mean, despite the fact that Let There Be Carnage knew what it was and really leaned into it.
And I
made
enjoyed it because it was stupid.
It was fantastic.
Yeah.
But No Way Home, boosh. And I'm talking about splooging, you know what I'm saying? Gross.
Yeah.
Gross.
Speaking
of splooging.
Wow. Wow. The Matrix Resurrections currently is losing to Sing 2 at the box office because, again, Warner Brothers sabotaged themselves and made this a hybrid release.
Mm-hmm.
So I watched it. I watched it the 23rd.
Thursday?
Yeah, I watched.
That's
it
the same
Thursday.
day I watched it.
Yeah, I watched it after I got off work, and I don't know. Maybe I was just. It's a weird movie because I had just watched the first one because I have that on Blu-ray. I rewatched that, and then I watched the Matrix Revisited, the documentary.
So should we do like first, first impressions like right away, like what you were thinking? Because I know what I was thinking. I was gonna watch a little bit of it, okay, and then I was going to watch the rest of it like another day, but I got hooked almost fucking immediately. Almost immediately got hooked.
Which is funny because I've seen mixed reactions. I think there's it's weird because we do live in this era where it's so divisive and everything. I think there's people that absolutely don't like it. I think there's people that
What, the nostalgia thing?
just the movie in general.
Oh.
And look, I'm not going to say this movie isn't without its criticisms. This is not in any way a perfect movie. I think there are legitimate criticisms of this movie.
The way that I left,
I don't
yeah.
like the
you're right.
I don't like the sequel baiting because honestly I don't really want to see a whole new trilogy of Matrix movies if that's what they're trying to do.
But the way they dealt with it was such a meta way that like it's so good. I mean, you got to admit that. Like come on.
Well, I mean,
what's wrong, little camper?
Well, it's so weird because it's similar to No Way Home.
Okay.
In a sense that it is commenting on the phases that we've gone through as an industry since the first Matrix.
Right.
The problem is it's super fucking heavy-handed in the first 20 or 30 minutes of this movie, and I can understand how people could check out of this movie after this point.
No,
listen.
Totally, I get that. Yeah,
yeah. So that makes sense, right?
Yeah, sure.
Because I had friends that being like, I liked it, but they felt like the first 20 or 30 minutes was just too much.
It does take a while to get into it. Now it does start with an action
meta.
sequence, though. It does start with an action.
Well, I
set
mean,
piece.
and right out of the gate it is showing you that. And again, I'm glad I watched the first Matrix before I watched this. And I didn't watch the sequels. I mean, this is the thing. I saw
the sequels recently.
I've seen all of the original trilogy so many times, and the thing is.
So let me interview you real quick.
Oh, go ahead.
How did you come to? Because I want you to do the same to me. Like, how did you come to the Matrix? At first, like, did you? How old were you when the first one came out?
Here's what's so funny about the Matrix.
Yeah.
I watched that at an extremely young age.
Okay.
I watched it because the first one came out in '99, so I watched it about 6 or 7 years old.
Okay. Wow. That's crazy.
So, and. Yes, that could be an indictment on my parents and stuff, I guess.
I know.
But even for an R-rated movie, it's really not that bad.
No.
There's
most of the violence is cartoonish.
Well, the violence never gets too brutal.
That's what I'm saying. It's cartoonish.
And it doesn't. I don't even think they swear that much in the first movie. They say like fuck,
maybe shit,
like once or.
He says shit right when he's trying to run away from.
But I mean, I think either way, my point is, it's not something I think a 7-year-old should watch.
Right.
But, it wasn't. It didn't scar me for life. It was fucking awesome.
Were you ever? Like,
but as a kid, I didn't. I only liked it for the action sequences.
Okay.
I didn't give a shit about anything else that was happening. It was just the kung fu, the bullet time, and that movie was so fucking revolutionary at its time. Like it changed movies for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know, and that's what I mean, is that's why I went back and watched that first movie, because it's not just nostalgia for me. It is that first movie is so fucking good.
You know,
we just don't make movies like that anymore.
I don't know about you, but like, I can't remember the last time I saw the first one again, but it was recently, within the last 6 months. And I remember watching it and being like, I totally forgot about like this sequence. Like you have kind of an idea of the movie in your head, and like you completely forget about the training sequence. Completely forget.
The dojo sequence is probably my favorite part of the whole movie.
Right? And you forget about it because all you think about is like the big long leather coats.
Stop trying to hit me and hit me.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I recently, because
Tyler. Yeah. And this is why I love this first movie so much, and why it's gonna be, I still think it is one of the best science fiction movies ever made, because like you're just talking about, you forget about that. I watched it a couple years ago for the 20th anniversary, because Ashley had never actually seen the whole movie.
Oh my god!
And I told her, you know what you're in for.
Yeah.
And we're watching it, and it was funny for me, because I know she could see how much I was enjoying that movie, because there'd be times I'm like, oh my god, you don't even know this sequence. And as I was watching it with her, it happened with the fucking part after Morpheus gets kidnapped, because that's a dramatic sequence. Yeah. That's awesome. And then, because every fucking fight scene is great in that first movie.
Yeah.
And then when they go back into the Matrix and they assault the fucking building, and then that leads into the subway fight.
Oh.
And then that leads into the end of the movie. Like, so there's like 3 huge set pieces to end that third act. And it's like, it's fucking insane.
Yeah.
Because I was again, when I rewatched it recently, it not only made me feel like that 6-year-old when I saw it, when I was like, or 7-year-old being like, oh my god, what the fuck is this? Like that experience. And now I understand why I love that first movie so much, because as I get older, I appreciate it more, because there's lines in the dojo sequence that I caught. Like last time I watched it, I never heard this before. I don't remember it. When he hits him and he's like got him down and he goes, "Do you think that's air you're breathing?" I was like, I don't remember that shit.
Yeah.
I didn't pick that up. I don't remember that. And like, there's so much they put into that first movie, so much detail, that I can keep going back and watching it and getting something new every time.
Yeah. So I
saw this whole franchise very young, by the way.
Okay.
So I was 10 or 11 when Reloaded and Revolutions came out.
Okay.
So again, I saw this at a very young age. So as I've gotten older, I've liked the movies more.
Yeah.
But I don't think anything will ever top that first movie. Anyway,
no, and I think you're right.
So what's your experience with the Matrix?
So in my 20s, I was kind of a douchebag, and when it came to movies, like, I was not somebody who went and saw movies on opening night and shit. In fact, the more popular a movie was, the more time it took me to actually watch it, like once it came out on video and shit. JFK, Forrest Gump, and The Matrix were just 3 of the movies that are fucking fantastic, and 3 of my favorite movies that took me forever to see. And for whatever reason, I was bored at a friend's house, or I just moved in with,
Yeah.
a couple of buddies of mine, and they had Matrix on. Oh, you never seen it? Whatever. And I remember seeing it. I was just like, holy fucking shit, just blown away. I had no idea what it was about. I had no idea that it had anything to do with like real life versus, a computer, like none of that shit. All that shit when he gets like detached and flows into the thing, no idea any of that was coming. And I was just like fucking mind fucking blown, dude. One of the best movies I'd ever seen. I was like, I can't believe it took me this long to see. By the time I saw it, they were already making the second two, and the second and the third one, and the Animatrix was coming out. And I was really, really into pop culture. At that time, the internet still wasn't like super prevalent. In fact, you still read a lot more. You still got a lot more stuff from like magazines and stuff. Or I rather did. So I had like a subscription to Spin, and I got really into the Matrix, like really into the mythos of it. Yeah. They made comics. They made fucking the Animatrix was really cool. And I got really into it. And then I saw that fucking steaming turd of a fuck on the screen. That Matrix, what was the second one? Reloaded?
Yeah.
What a turd.
I don't know, man.
And here's the thing.
I think
I've seen it again recently, and I was way harsh on it the first time I saw it.
Right.
Way harsh. There's a lot of really cool stuff going on in that movie. My problem, and I still have a problem with it, is you spend way too much time in Zion. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Other than the fact that, what's his name? The pilot of the Nebuchadnezzar in Switch? No. In the second one. He replaces Dozer or whatever. What the fuck is his name?
Oh, God.
The guy.
I know what you're talking about.
Okay. His girlfriend / wife, whatever, hotter than shit. Smoke show. Thank you for showing me that. Other than that, I don't give a fuck about Zion. Oh, also the orgy scene was kind of hot. Kind of,
Yeah.
But I don't. Anyway, but other than that, like the two sequels, like I watched the second one again when he goes to see the architect, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, they literally like busted out the thesaurus when they wrote his scenes.
Here's
but it's a great scene.
But here's the thing, Tyler.
What?
That's funny. I get what you're saying too, because you have so many really cool set pieces and action in those movies. And look, I like the spectacle of the Smith fight. It still looks like shit.
Yeah, yeah. The second, yeah. But dude,
no, when they first start, it's not bad. But when they turn into a video game sequence, I'm like, what are we doing?
The architect sequence, the architect's scene is really, really, really eye-opening if you're paying attention. And at the time, I didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
And I saw it recently again, and I was just like, wow, like, this is blowing my fucking mind right now. And that led me into the third one, which, blah, blah.
The third one still sucks.
The bottom line is that I remembered that I cared about these characters. I remembered that I gave a shit what happened to them. And I remembered that I was really proud of them for fighting back against the machines. And that gave me such a good mindset for going into this movie.
Okay, so
such a good mindset.
It's interesting that you talk about the second movie, because what I was getting at with the architect sequence, the problem that I've had with each Matrix sequel is, and this movie addresses it in the beginning with the meta commentary on the movie, but
we're gonna do a spoiler one too, aren't we?
Yeah, I mean.
Okay, so this is non-spoilers, by the way, if you didn't know.
Yeah, because this is kind of like our relation to. Well, because I want to just go right into spoilers.
Okay.
To get my
so
review. So I'm gonna just lead you in there, and when I say it, I'll hit the pizza time thing, so you'll know.
Pizza time. That was not it.
That was not the one.
No.
No, but they comment on it a little bit in this movie, in the meta-ness of it and all that. But like, I think every sequel had to convolute itself so much because they had such a philosophical edge to their first movie that they seemed like they had to go real heavy on the mythology, real heavy on the and it definitely at times feels like condescending in a way. I feel like it does turn people off, and rightfully so. The architect scene, while it's interesting and kind of lays the foundation for what this fourth movie is.
He doesn't use regular words at all. Like I paid attention to the words he's using.
I think as a
and I watched with subtitles. Man, he is fucking busting out the 50-cent words left and right.
Absolutely, it's like come
It's
on.
great though.
But here's I know because if
But
you
yeah, it's condescending as fuck.
it works in a way because you feel like Neo in that sequence
Yeah.
because you're going from an action set piece into this conversation where this guy is up his own ass.
Yeah.
And this movie, this fourth movie, is head and shoulders up its own ass. Like I'm not gonna fucking pretend and not say.
Yeah, but it's fucking
this
great.
movie is super fucking
It's
pretentious.
fucking great though. No, it's not that pretentious.
But that's what I mean. If you pay attention to that scene, you'll understand that this movie can make sense because they laid the foundation in the second one that this is the sixth version of the Matrix.
Mm-hmm.
If Neo destroys it, they'll just build a new one.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of what they inserted in
And
that
we'll get
second
into
movie to
we'll
set.
get into the. Oh, sorry, you're talking about the second movie.
No, I was, but
Yeah.
that's what I mean. Is
I thought you were
that's
about to
why
say.
when I saw the trailers for this movie, I understood it as this is just a different version of the Matrix.
Probably, yeah.
And so now we go into
Pizza time.
spoilers. One more time. 3, 2, 1.
Pizza time.
Let's do it.
Sounds like such a dildo.
Because I
Pizza
cut off
time.
part of the P, so it kind of
Pizza
sounds like
time.
eats a time.
It's a time.
Eats a time.
It's a time.
Eats a time.
Like a really bad.
Pizza time.
So, first things first, I fucking loved this movie.
I did not expect to enjoy this movie
I-
as much as I did. And
the
look,
whole
again,
the first like 20 minutes when he's like just going out of his mind, I thought was so like impactful to me because I knew that he was in the Matrix, again. And I kept finding reflections of himself.
the old guy.
Yes, and I would pause it. So the first 20 minutes, I was very active with the pause button because there was the moment where she sees him jump from the building, and they show it real quick, but then they show him close up. Close up, he's Keanu, but from far away, that real quick shot, he's a bald dude.
Yeah.
And you're like, dude, I was just like fucking blown away. I'm like, what is going on here? It doesn't hurt at all that not only is she a great actress, but she's very, very attractive. Bugs.
She's in Sense8.
She's great in this. I forget that she played Colleen Wing because she had long hair in Iron Fist, and also I didn't watch Iron Fist because Iron Fist sucked. But I hope to see her in future stuff. But she was really good in this, and she described herself as the audience's eyes in an interview, which I think is pretty accurate.
Yeah.
But it's man, I was just really fucking Neil Patrick Harris needs to play more fucking villains, dude.
Yeah, I
Honestly.
really enjoyed him in this. I've always liked.
So good.
I always thought he was a really fun actor. I've liked
Yeah.
everything he's done.
He
so.
can go he can go over the top. He did a couple times, but generally he was reserved
and that's what because the
and
analyst
subdued, but he
is-
was sinister.
The analyst is interesting because the analyst is almost the opposite of the architect.
Yeah.
And yeah, so we'll get into that a little bit, but I do still want to talk about the whole first 20 or 30 minutes of this movie that's in the Matrix, and it's the mind fuckery of the beginning of this movie. And what do you think of the idea that the trilogy was a video game in this ideal situation? Like that Neo programmed the trilogy, the original trilogy of the Matrix, as a video game, because I feel like it's an interesting approach.
Well, no, they explain later on in the movie like what really happened, so it wasn't really a video game because it really.
No, I know
happened.
it wasn't.
Oh.
But what I was saying is like,
I
what
like
did you think of that whole thing?
I
Because
think again, my favorite part of those first 20-30 minutes was how meta it was and how they gave you such a huge compliment, saying, "We know that you're smart enough to get what we're saying here. You've seen the first 3 movies, or at least the first one. You really didn't need to see the other 2. honestly, to get this movie. You really didn't.
No.
It helps.
I was
you
not.
get deeper into the mythos, and
as
it's more entertaining, and
as
you
I
catch
said,
more shit.
It's tied to the most of the first movie because
Right.
I rewatched the first movie and I wasn't lost at all.
Right, and I wasn't lost at all. But I mean, the second two kind of give you a little more depth or whatever. But
I mean, it's just glimpses.
I felt like it was really. I felt like it was giving you a chance to be like, we think you're smart enough to get this. What we're saying, we think you're smart enough to understand that this is him in the Matrix. And honestly, I was getting a little anxious because it was done really well. Like how fucking ridiculous and boring and repetitive life is. Because I've been in that situation before where you just feel like day in and day out, you know?
So, yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, and that's what was appealing about the first movie.
And I love that one guy, the bigger guy, his buddy.
Oh, yeah, I don't remember.
You know what I'm talking about?
Man, I don't, other than Bugs,
Yeah.
I don't remember anybody that from that fucking crew, if I'm being totally honest.
Yeah.
But that whole sequence of the beginning, even where they're telegraphing that this is going to be like most tied to the first movie because it's the same shot from the first movie,
Yeah.
but it's not Carrie Ann Moss, it's somebody else, and they're like, what? There's the change to the simulation.
Yeah.
You find out Bugs. I like how the change of putting the operator digitally in
Yes,
the room with them.
I did too.
I really like that a lot.
That made
because it adds tension without having to cut back to the ship.
also it speeds the narrative up.
That's
a
what I
lot.
mean. So you don't have to constantly keep cutting back to the
Yes.
ship.
Yep.
So
That was a great idea.
well, and I like everybody that's complained about this movie has had the same complaints that I've had with it. Where
I have no complaints about this
where
movie.
I still enjoy it, but it's also something where it feels like Gremlins 2 territory. It's like, whoa, how the fuck did this movie get made? This is the most ridiculous thing. But then it also has things like with how they can bring AI into the real world and they can bring things from the Matrix into the real world. I was like, those are cool concepts. I wish they would have done more of those.
Yeah.
But it still has to.
Yeah, Io was really cool.
They still have to rely on. So they should rely more on that lore, yes, but it's the same problem I had with the architect scene in the second movie. It gets up its own ass, and it goes on these long fucking diatribes, and it's like, dude,
Like what?
I'm jumping ahead. So anyway, the stuff with Jonathan Groff, I love Jonathan Groff in this. I like him as an actor. I just don't like how they did his character because we find out that the reason why Morpheus is different is because Morpheus in this is an AI that is created by Neo to get him out of the Matrix.
Yep, to find him.
And he says he's an amalgamation of Smith and Morpheus.
Because Morpheus shows up first as an agent. Yeah,
yes.
which is interesting.
And Neo is saying that Smith and Morpheus created him.
Mm-hmm.
And then they continue that concept further, and this is, again, we're in spoiler territory now.
Yeah.
We find out that Jonathan Groff is the new Agent Smith.
And he has been watching Neo as...
Which I think is unfair.
What?
Because inherently, I'm going to compare Yahya Abdul-Mateen, I think.
Yahya Abdul-Mateen.
Yeah. Compare him to Lawrence Fishburne. I'm going to compare those Morpheus performances because... you put that there inherently that my brain is just automatically going to compare them. And it's not fair because they're two separate performances.
Did you notice how he kind of disappeared in the second half of the movie?
Yeah, because it's just the AI thing in the second half.
But he really just didn't appear at all, almost. It was like, huh?
Yeah,
But it was more about... He
would show up and
Trinity
help
and
them
Neo
in the
anyway.
Matrix.
Yeah.
He would help them in the Matrix.
Yeah.
And then he would help in the real world when they...
He was a big part of the escape in the real world. Yeah.
But, yeah, most of his stuff is early on in the movie.
That was a great concept, how to do that, too. That also sped along the narrative.
I just think that he could have had a different name, is all I'm saying.
Sure.
Because
I'm with you.
Because I like both of their performances, but I think they're clearly both going in what Lana Wachowski was doing. She was going in a different approach for this, where I think she wanted to say that, yes, this is a Morpheus, but it's a different Morpheus.
Yeah.
which in my mind was like, why not just name him something different? Because it feels, because then it leans too much into this.
Stop being such a bitch.
But no, but that's the thing. On the flip side of that, I do love that they made it their own and changed it. Where like they even kind of make fun of themselves when he says "at last," and he's like, "What?" And he's like, "Well, it's kind of theatrical. It's how he did it, with the lights and the thing." And then Neo's like, "Wait, you're Morpheus?" And then that's when he starts to freak out. And then it's like, but I love the context of it being that Neo created him to get him out of the Matrix again, which I think is a funny.
I thought it was really cool.
I think it's
that
a
they
funny
had,
commentary on reboots.
I thought that was really cool that they had like machines like working with them.
Yeah,
the sentience. That was kind of neat. They were cute looking
I like
too.
that, but there was definitely parts where I was like, ugh.
What?
Like when he high fives that fucking little
Oh
robot.
come on! You are just
Keep this
naysaying the fuck.
No,
you
because you got
don't
warped
like
into
fun.
the same fucking
You don't
Hollywood
like fun.
machine, dude. What are we making? Might as well call it the Matrix. The Matrix Awakens.
You don't like this movie. You can tell, can't you, folks? He just hates it.
I've turned on this
hating
movie.
on it.
I've turned on it.
You have. Why? It was a great fucking time.
For you. No, I did enjoy this movie. I just felt like that was too
You had
cheesy.
a lot more problems with it than I did.
Yes.
That's all. But we both enjoyed it, I think.
No, but I still loved it because I love that it is a love story. I love that it's so it's no, I'm serious. Like you don't see a lot of these movies have this driving force of love and this simple idea that he just wants to be with Trinity.
It's interesting how
all of this shit's happening and he's like, I don't want to be this superhero anymore.
The scale of the first three is so large, and then this scale is so really I mean
much
it's
more
sti-
intimate.
It's still large, but it's really intimate. It's really like just just kind of brought into the relationship between Neo and Trinity. And it's interesting how they have Trinity in the real world. That was kind of funny. But I don't know, man. I just it was so good. Like it was just good to see them. I guess.
No, I understand.
And it was really cool, like how they added to it, and the IO scenes were cool.
I do like that.
I guess I don't have much more to say about it other than I really liked it. And I think Jessica Henwick is hot. And a great actress.
But my problem is there just wasn't enough kung fu in it. There were not enough kung fu sequences.
But okay, you and I both agreed. Let's talk about the bot bombs, the suicide bombers. That was fucking crazy.
Well, for starters,
I know we're jumping.
For starters,
ahead,
I want to
what?
talk about changes. Yeah, because they implement that in this version of the Matrix. They aren't agents anymore because their agents are too obvious. Which
and they're too difficult. It takes more energy to change a human into an agent
so
than just to
their idea is everybody could be a bot, everybody could be an agent,
and there's a thing called a swarm
mode which
is cool as fuck,
makes their eyes turn into the Matrix code and then they attack them. I think it works really well in the third act because there's so much tension created by it, because you're like, it's like zombies. I'm like, yeah, but they're not zombies.
No,
but it's the idea of this. Yeah, just these fucking people riot.
The guy wakes up.
Honestly, it's just a giant riot attacking you each time.
The guy wakes up, and he's just
that
sleeping
sequence
in bed.
made me laugh. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I was like, are they turning him into superheroes? And then he just dies, and I'm like, oh my god! What the and then they showed like a bunch of bodies like slap into the fucking pavement in the background. It was like, ugh. God, that's cool. Like,
yeah, it was gross.
It was awful, but it was cool because it was like, you guys really went for it, Like, hey, CGI guys, can you paint a wet human sack of flesh hitting the pavement in just the right way so that their neck is kind of like that? Yeah, cool.
Then blow up a car.
Oh my god. And there were some really cool sequences of like Neo using his powers during that chase scene too. Come on, don't be a fucko. God, you just do.
I like the
it.
no. I like. I
don't think you like.
I like the helicopter sequence where he blew up the helicopter.
That's it.
He was.
It was in the preview.
Just fight some people, please.
Come on.
When
He's
you
too
think of the-
old.
when you think of the, no, he's not. He fucking does John Wick shit. That's why I'm frustrated, Tyler. If he had not been doing the action
What about the
stunts,
sequence with Smith in the basement?
that was fucking great, and I wanted more of that.
Okay, well, fucking sorry, bro. Trust a bro.
And but you're right though. The sequences that had the slower sequences with talking,
with talking.
with when people talkie to each other, when they flap their gums.
Less talk, more rock.
I just want to say, I think you're right. I think I don't like this movie because I don't like Niobe, and I could give a fuck less that she's in this movie.
What? It connects the. That's because you don't like the
Because
sequels.
her makeup sucks.
What are you talking about?
Her old lady makeup.
You thought it sucked.
Yes.
Why? What was
her makeup? Her makeup?
I couldn't tell that was Jada Pinkett. I mean, I could tell from the voice.
No, it's not that I don't like the sequels. I just
Wow.
don't really care for Niobe that much. I mean, I liked her dynamic with Morpheus.
I don't really want to talk about this movie anymore.
Why? You can have different
I
opinions.
thought you loved this movie like I did.
I loved it.
In fact, I thought going into this movie, I was like, I'm not really going to like this, and Jake's going to love it. And now here we are talking about it, and it's revealed at last that you really didn't like this movie.
No, Tyler, here's the thing. There's so much of this movie that I liked, but there's a lot that I didn't like, too.
I know. I am. You know what? Here's the thing.
I'm very conflicted.
I loved this movie, and here's why.
Okay.
Because when you love something, it's easy to overlook the flaws. And there's a lot of I am first one to admit there are a lot of flaws in this movie. Holy shit.
Here's the thing.
But the Merovingian was cool.
Oh, my God.
You didn't like the Merovingian? What the fuck is wrong with you?
Don't listen. Tyler, listen to me right now.
I think we need to take a break.
I think you need to listen to this. We can in a second.
Okay.
But I want to just get this out first.
It's all falling apart.
Think of the content we're making right now, buddy. It's okay to have differing opinions.
No. Damn it. After the Spider-Man rankings show, I never want to be different again.
By the way, No Way Home is number one.
Yeah.
Just-
Oh, yeah. Did we say that last week?
we did that. I just want to make that clear. That movie.
Didn't we?
Because
I
we've
thought
talked about that movie more than
Oh
The
my
Matrix.
God,
I think at this point.
Yeah. More. Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna take a quick time out.
Jesus.
Gather ourselves.
We gotta straighten some
I can't
shit out
believe
here.
how mad you are that I don't like it.
Okay, so we started. We took a little break and we talked it over because I think we are so used to doing like reviews where we're on the same page with a lot of these things because we like a lot of the same shit, and so it was genuinely like discombobulating to me. I was like, wait, I don't think you like, and it's not that. It's just we liked it for different reasons, and I think I loved it more. I think.
Yeah.
But defending the Merovingian scene.
Because here's the thing.
Okay.
I don't like it.
Okay. Did you
But-
like the Merovingian in the first?
Okay, so his character, I enjoyed,
Okay.
but I think the criticism I had of his character, which is a lot of people's criticism, was his fucking monologues went on forever.
Okay. Fair enough.
It's like we get. The
I
point.
will say yes. I think more just seeing him, I could have done without any of his dialogue.
Yeah, I know.
I think they tried to shoehorn some like social commentary
They
into his
absolutely did.
dialogue,
Yeah.
and it made no sense.
Which is frustrating because there's dialogue in this very same movie
Yeah.
that comes in later.
Yeah.
That's better criticism of what they were trying to do in that sequence.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also where the movie turned for me in a way, because while I did not like it, I started to enjoy the movie more because that's when I realized, okay, this movie's going full on Gremlins 2, and it's just going to be this ridiculous movie that's kind of makes fun of itself all the time, and it just says that this is meaningless.
Yeah.
But and then at the same time, by the end of the movie, I'm enjoying it because that's when I was like, okay, so this movie is addressing the fact that it knows how ridiculous it is, and that's why I loved it. So again, it took a while for me to turn back around on this movie. But do I think it's the best Matrix movie? No.
No, it can't be.
But it's better than its other two, I
it's
think.
definitely the second best.
Yeah. And I think that's when I started to do that is the Mario Vengeance scene because it is them kind of making fun of themselves. And they're having a little fun with it.
Yeah.
And but he wasn't even saying anything. He was like
he was just
the sequel
screaming.
to
No, I don't know about you, but I watch everything with subtitles, everything.
Yeah.
And so I get a lot better.
What did he exactly say then?
No, it's just a string of words. I think they were trying to shoehorn some sort of social commentary, but it made no sense. It was just a string of, I think at one point he said Wiki Licky or something. So I don't know if they were criticizing WikiLeaks or I don't know what's going on. I don't really get the whole WikiLeaks thing anyway.
Definitely said sequel reboot thing.
Yeah, well, they did a better job of making fun of this whole thing in the first 20 minutes.
That's what I'm saying is like
he was kind of extraneous other than to say, "Hey, Wink, remember this guy?
Remember this guy? Remember how we're gonna shoehorn this character in?"
Now, let's also.
I also think that could be the commentary.
Story-wise, no, true, and story-wise, it made sense because they were the remnants,
the exiles,
exiles. So they were programs that weren't purged from the first Matrix, but they are still around.
Yeah.
So that made sense story-wise, okay, but yeah, the fight scene was pretty neat.
You see now you're seeing why I'm frustrated with this movie,
right?
Because there's so many things that I do like that they done, but there's so many other things I was like,
yeah.
What do we?
If you're looking at a straight up like, I don't know, man. I loved how like when they said like you tried. It was at the launch of the Matrix, and you were at a party at a rooftop, and you tried to jump off the roof. Because you thought you could fly.
Yeah.
And that's when you start seeing those like different shots of him looking like a different person.
Yeah.
And that's
like a bald loser.
Right. But it was just like, oh my God, like there's so much more to this. And I don't know about you, but the whole imagery of not just him, but at the very end, the two of them also stepping off the roof. They replayed that moment so many times, especially when Bugs was explaining her kind of origin to him. Was so powerful to me. I don't know why. It just really was just powerful. The whole, I'm stepping off the roof. I don't know why.
Well, in that sequence when he's drunk and he's like, if I fly or I don't.
Yeah.
As like,
I honestly thought the movie was gonna end like the fucking other guys with the Rock and Nick Fury.
They just fall to the ground.
I kind of did. I thought it was like, well, that is fucking meta, dude. Like they're dead. That's it. They're done. They're dead.
Yeah.
They're smashed to pieces and nothing good. I liked how they kind of like explained how they remade them. That's fucked up.
So, well, that's an interesting thing that I don't know, because it makes sense, but it's such a weird idea, and I think that's why I kind of love it is because it's so bizarre.
Yeah.
So we find out that Neo, he was in the Matrix for 20 years, and they're like, it's more like 60 years. I'm like,
which is
God
crazy.
damn it.
Yeah.
I hate when the movie does that, because they do that in the first movie. It was like, you think it's the year 1999, it's actually more like 2199, and I'm like, God damn it, I hate when they fuck with time like that, because it's like, it's so cool, and it's effective, because then
Stop
you feel
being a bitch. No,
I'm saying I like that it said
Yeah.
60 years, because it's like, damn, these people have still been fighting this fucking war for 60 years. But then you find out that there's been parts of the world. We have a new Zion. It's Io, and
I wish they would have touched
seeing the
more
machines
on what happened, like what the piece was like, what that looked like.
Yeah,
I wish they would have had more of a, because I remember in the first movie they had that little TV, and that kind of they zoomed into the TV and showed like what the real world was really like, and all this other stuff, and it was fucking crazy. Like that's when the movie was like, oh my God, this is insane. I wished they would have done more of that. They did kind of show like the machines at war with each other, which was kind of cool.
Yeah. Because that's when you see you forget in the first movie these things are AI.
Yep.
So you're seeing more of the AI adapt.
And story-wise, it made sense too.
Yeah. So you have separatists robots that want to work with humans, but there's still that militant group that still wants to harvest humans.
Yeah.
So there's still that conflict, and then that's spilled into. There's still a lot of people that are jacked into the Matrix. And so the idea that that's been 60 years since the original trilogy is an interesting concept. And the fact that they don't know why he hasn't aged as much, and then we get more of an explanation is that the analyst convinced the machines to resurrect Neo and Trinity because, in the trilogy, everybody's fucking dead. And to have them back and harvest because he realized that if you keep those two close together, they can generate a lot of power. And
which keeps the Matrix
energy,
running.
right. And
he was making records for like productivity and
shit.
It
kept, and people were liking this newer version of the Matrix. It was more addicting than and I think it's the movie having a commentary on our phones and Twitter and face, all social media and shit.
Can I say one thing that landed really heavily?
Yeah, go ahead.
Women used to be so much easier to control.
Yeah. Wow. It's true though.
You could have just smacked me in the face with that one, but okay.
I had the privilege.
I get you.
But yeah, and then we find out that, and then it's all happening while he's using bullet time against Neo, which is interesting. Kind of another but like, come on. But
I didn't like how the effects turned out during that whole thing.
I didn't like that.
But other than
I liked the speech though. It
was interesting how they kind of because they showed him kind of trying to fight him. He would start moving his. He would start.
Yeah.
Sorry, Cooper's trying. He would start moving his head towards or his hand towards, the analyst's head or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he, but the whole idea of that, and then him kind of getting a little bit going back to the meta stuff of explaining the playing on your emotion, because the only thing, and he has a really good point that's true, is he goes, facts and feelings is the conflict. And he says you will let your feelings make up any facts you want.
Yep.
And it's so true of a commentary of our time. And again, that's moments of the movie that I enjoyed, moments of the movie that I loved when it was actually trying to have something to say. I just also wish it would have had a little bit more fight scenes, is all I'm saying.
Well, fuck you, man. In my old age, I like the
especially because that comes
shit.
after my favorite part of the movie, which was when Smith and Neo fight each other.
Yeah.
Even though they definitely telegraphed some direct sequences from the first movie, but I thought, as a whole, I thought the fight was fun, and I thought that I wish that felt more of like the Matrix that I know. Because when I think of the Matrix, I think of bullet time and I think of kung fu. Those are the two things that I always think about.
Well, I think of love.
Because whatever you may say about the story beats in the original trilogy, the second and third movies still have amazing fight sequences. The freeway sequence in the second movie is fucking phenomenal.
They built an entire mile of freeway.
So there's still some
Just
amazing set pieces in the second and third movie.
Sure.
And in fights. And I'm fine with it having a smaller scale. I do love the fact that the story is more intimate and it's all about him getting to Trinity.
Yeah.
But I feel like that should have loaned itself to more of cool kung fu fighting.
I guess.
That's what I feel like it was a miss. Especially because I know that Keanu does all the stunts.
All right, no, it's fine.
Does all the stunts that he does for John Wick.
It's cool.
If he were, older and couldn't do what he does, I wouldn't be, but,
Okay.
Well, what's funny is about the first movie?
Yeah.
Like, the fight choreography was some of the most intense training they've ever put actors through, because they wanted to have actors doing the fighting as much as possible to make it. And it works, dude. You see Lawrence Fishburne and Keanu doing that dojo sequence, and it's fucking awesome.
Yeah. I
just wish that was more here. And I wanted more Jonathan Groff. I fucking loved him in this movie. He was underutilized.
Too. Yes, I will agree with you on that one. And Yahya Abdul-Mateen is also fucking great.
I love how they did, again, like I said, I love how they did his version of Morpheus.
But yeah, my favorite character, Bugs, was on screen a lot, so I liked it. Maybe that's why I loved it so much.
So then we get to the
I
end.
love her.
What did you think of the ending of this? Because I want to just wrap this up because we still have to talk about
It's fine.
Hawkeye.
I don't know. What do you mean?
The
The whole
fact that
rotating flying. That was fun.
Carrie Ann Moss can fly now, and
That was fun.
Like, the idea that Neo wasn't the one. He was a part of the one. The idea that them two together
by
make
the very
one.
end of it, he has regained his flight.
But that's what I mean. So what do you think of the idea that the reason that this is so crucial is we're saying that Neo is only one half of the one, and that
That's awesome.
them together make the one.
That's awesome. And I think they're maybe doing a commentary on themselves, maybe. Or Lana is doing a commentary on herself that she needs, the male side of her just as much as she needs the female side. You know what
And
I
then I
mean?
got the idea that you have to embrace both
Well,
aspects of your personality.
as a completely objective, human being who does not understand, who has no frame of reference, let me just say that, it would make sense to me if a man was, felt that they were trapped in a man's body or whatever, or, was meant to be a woman, whatever. It would make sense if you transitioned that you would kind of, once you transitioned fully to a woman, that you might eschew a lot of manly things because, for the first time you're a woman, So it makes sense maybe for me, for her thinking like, when I first transitioned and everything, I was really super happy and I'm still happy, but I'm also understanding that just because I transitioned from a man to a woman doesn't mean that I have to let all that man, those
and I think it's also
male qualities
or
or masculine qualities escape me anymore. I think that's what she's trying to say.
I think that I could understand that read, or the idea that
but
you,
I'm not
you have
transgender.
to,
I could be completely misreading.
Well, but I also think you could just also apply to just humanity in general.
Yeah,
too.
true.
It's saying
Absolutely.
that like you should. It's okay to be
men and women need
sensitive
to work together,
and embrace your feminine side and your masculine.
and it's
side.
also
And-
okay to be a woman who's a bad fucker and kicking ass all the time and
Yeah.
shit.
And
And
I think that
makes
maybe,
motorcycles.
I think honestly, what she's trying to go for
Yeah.
with this is what you were saying, but also a broader scale of that humanity as a whole.
I think so.
We have more to us than
Yeah.
a thing. Like we're meant to embrace a masculine side. We're meant to embrace a feminine side.
Mm-hmm.
And when we, listen and let those things be a part of us, we're not, we're not plugged into the matrix. We're not a part of this silly game of where we have to be like fucking macho or
Right.
super girly. Like,
Did we just crack the fucking code of this
I
movie?
think that's how I came around to loving it again. Maybe that's it. Maybe
that was a
that's what it
fucking
was.
lame ass 5, dude.
I'm sorry. Let me. Yeah.
I don't really want to.
I'm
anymore.
sorry. We tried to high five.
No, I'm like totally like over it now.
It's okay. It's just
I'm totally fucking over the 5. No, man.
let's wrap up this episode. It's
Can we
gonna-
hear Skeletor do the other thing first?
I could write a book about what you don't know.
Do 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 do. The music in the back. Yeah, fuck yeah, man.
All right, let's wrap up this episode. It might run a little long, but that's okay. Who fucking cares? We
Yeah,
write
we're
the
gonna beat
rules.
the zero.
Anyway,
Hammer time.
I don't know what that was.
Yep. That was
Let's
fucking
talk about
great.
some Hawkeye.
That was
now,
fucking talent.
now we've held off because I had yet to catch up. So I finally caught up and watched the entire season. Almost put my marriage in jeopardy
Yeah, right,
because I'll be honest, I was selfish.
dude.
My wife and I enjoyed this show together. We actually binged 3, 4, and 5 together. And then
I really liked Haley
We-
Steinfeld. She was great.
we waited to watch episode 6. Well, we originally planned that, but I watched it last night. She was not happy about it, and
Yeah.
rightfully so. So Tyler, I put my marriage in jeopardy for
So
this show.
real quick, when I lived in Ohio, towards the
Similar
end,
situation.
towards the end of my time in Ohio, the relationship was falling apart already, and we were into The Walking Dead, and we DVR'd it, right?
Sure.
And one night, I was drinking a lot, and she would wake up early to go into the deli, and I had just checked out of the whole deli thing. I drank, and I went to my job in the afternoon tonight or whatever. And so I would come home, and I would, at like, midnight, 1 o'clock, and I would drink till like 3, 4 in the morning. and I would get done with my Madden game, and I would go sit like 3 feet from the TV and put headphones on and watch. Like, I remember, fuck you if you haven't watched The Walking Dead and you're worried about spoilers. The episode, have you watched it?
I don't care.
The episode where they finally find the girl that they've been looking for all season, and she's a zombie, and she's been in that barn.
You're talking about season 2.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. I watched it until like season 5 or 6.
That episode by myself, drunk off my ass, right outside the bedroom while she was sleeping, and it was so hard. I totally could not even lie to her because it was just like, I'm so sorry, but I watched it, and oh my God.
But
dude, it was falling apart anyway, the relationship. So it was kind of like, part of me was kind of almost like, fuck you.
No, she was real mad at me because I felt. You know what? I'll be honest. When I was watching it, I felt like I felt like I was cheating. I felt dirty about it.
You should have. If you have a commitment to watch shows together, like, here's the thing. Like, for like 7-8 years, all Marvel movies and superhero movies in general, I watched them with one person in the theaters. And I recently watched 2 movies this year without somebody. And I'm okay with that. But I think that, yes, it
was wrong. And I'll never do it again, and I apologized.
I wasn't a huge fan. I liked Swordsman. I liked his sequences. I still like Yelena Belova. I think she's super awesome. And her relationship with Kate is hilarious.
We're kind of just looking at
Kate
this.
Bishop.
We're looking at this as a whole.
Yeah. The camera sequences.
I still think this is my favorite Disney Plus show.
Okay.
I liked it a lot.
It was fun.
But I understand if some people are a little bit let down by the finale. And here's my stance on it. I feel like there were too many plot threads that they had to get finished in one episode.
Yeah.
So I think it's a little disappointing. Because I feel like some of them get wrapped up too quickly.
Yeah.
And I feel like Kingpin in general was I liked him in the show.
Yeah.
But I think they took too long to build up to him. Because they're so strict on this 6-episode thing. And I don't know why they're so strict on that. Because I think Feige said they were only these shows are only going to be 6 hours.
I like to one of the things I really liked about this finale was the fight between Kazi and Echo, or Maya.
Yeah.
Because you could tell that they loved each other, that there's a true love there. And it was the finality of it, you could see they both understood that one of them was going to have to kill the other one. And that was kind of heartrending, especially when she finally kills him.
But that's what's surprising to me is like I feel like I thought they were going to just hold that off and do it in her show.
Yeah, maybe.
But
I don't know.
That's what I was surprised by that.
That'll be a fun show too.
That was really sad.
Yeah.
That death, but yeah. Well, that's the thing is one thing I was talking to Ashley about this because she did watch it eventually. What I loved so much about this episode, and this is why I think this is the smart thing to do it this way, and which I always thought this TV show was very smart to introduce Kate Bishop to the MCU to set up a new Hawkeye.
Yeah.
But I love that they're already telegraphing that Black Widow and Hawkeye are destined to be friends because you're gonna like. The interaction between Haley Steinfeld and Florence Pugh is great.
Oh my God!
It's the best part of the episode.
Kate Bishop.
When
she first meets her, and she meets Mac and Cheese.
The last 2
So
episodes,
great.
their scenes together are my favorate parts of the show.
Yeah, there's a genuine camaraderie. Like when they're fighting each other, like that was really fun. Well, except for the kick to the ribs. Except for the that was fun.
When they're fighting in the the favorite part is when they're in the elevator and Kate slaps her.
Yeah,
she goes, "What the?" She's like, "What the hell was that?" Yeah. And then that was like, see, that's what I really loved about that scene because it turns into a comedic scene where it's like they're clearly liking each other, but they're like, "What the fuck, dude?
I gotta do my thing."
Yeah, it's like I can't let you kill my friend.
Every time she reached for the elevator.
Oh, that is so annoying. Like that, like I think that it's so wise to do that, and that was such a cool way of passing the baton.
The camera work to me in this episode, because I talked to you about the car episode. I think it was episode 3, where it looked like they put a camera right in the middle of the car.
Yeah.
And just kept spinning it around, and it was like a one shot.
Yeah, and they kind of in that office sequence they do the same thing.
Yeah, it was like they built like a whole wall, or just maybe digitally inserted one.
And it reminded me of Captain America Civil War when
Yeah.
he's tackling the dudes, and it's that trolley shot where it's room to room to room.
Yeah.
They kind of mimic that in
Yeah.
a way, and it's really cool.
I liked it.
And dude, that's what I mean. And I really hope they go, and that's what I loved about the Black Widow movie,
yeah.
and that's what I loved about the Hawkeye show is how that is how you pass the baton. That
Yeah.
is how you set up these new characters. And we're in the legacy era of the MCU, which is cool. And I've come around to that, and I think it is because of Florence Pugh's performance and Haley Steinfeld. I'm like, I want to see more of this Hawkeye. I want to see more of this Black Widow.
Mhm.
So there's they don't know what they're gonna do. There's speculation that they're gonna make a Hawkeye and Black Widow show.
Yeah.
But there's also thoughts that they might just make it a movie. I would prefer it just being a movie.
Yeah, for sure.
But we're also thinking that, do you think that she's going to be in the Thunderbolts?
See, I don't know if they're gonna try and do a Thunderbolts or not. Like, to me, that just seems like a little too much.
Well, it's clear,
I
and
like
then-
to think that.
I say do it because, I mean, we know that it's clearly a ripoff of Suicide Squad, but that's what these two things have always been, right?
I don't know. I mean, are you gonna put him in the Avengers or like U.S. Agent is an Avenger in the comics? He's not a Thunderbolt.
But why
I don't
bring in
think.
what's her name? Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Valentina?
Valentina.
Alexandra.
Yeah, why bring her in to kind of set up an idea of like
I don't know what
Dark
they're gonna
Avengers?
do. Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do. Yeah, I know what you're saying. I don't know, but yeah, they are on the road to that, aren't they?
it's either Thunderbolts or Dark Avengers or
Yeah,
something
I don't know.
because they're trying to build an evil super team.
Uh,
But I don't want this Black Widow to be in the Avengers. I like the fact that she's kind of her own thing, and but I want to
am
see.
smitten with Florence Pugh.
But the things that I really liked about this show.
She's British. Did you know that?
Yes.
I didn't know Jessica Henwick was either.
Okay. I don't even know. I lost my train of thought. You completely stunlocked me.
Pause it and go back.
No,
Listen,
it's fine.
I'm sorry, man.
No, I love
Stupid.
I love this
fantasies.
concept in general. Just the fact that this is how they bring in Kate, and I would love to see a Hawkeye and Black Widow movie with
Oh, God, yes.
with Haley Steinfeld and Florence Pugh. I
Yes.
think it'd be fucking so much fun.
Do like a
And I like that
do a Winter Soldier type spy yeah.
and the addition of Kingpin, it's bringing back down the street level stuff, and I
Yeah.
love street level Marvel stories. They're
You
so
know what I love? Street level stuff.
yeah, because. And they're doing it with Spider-Man even. They're taking away all his shit because it's like it's better when you have more of a you could still have this fantastical stuff but still have what you were talking about after the third episode, which you said the characters make this show.
Yeah.
And I think that's true. I think you care about Black Widow in this fight with Clint and it sucks because you finally see those. You had to see those two address their grief at the same time.
Dude, I was
fucking
so
crazy.
worried that they were just gonna be like, okay, here's a surprise. We're gonna kill off Hawkeye. Like, don't do
I
that.
thought she was gonna shoot him too.
I did too.
I thought she was gonna be like, yeah, but this is my closure and like cap him, which I'm glad they didn't.
Me too, because I love her.
But it was kind of I like that sequence. I just feel like it was kind of a little bit rushed. I wish I had a little bit more time with it because it was a really emotionally good scene to see them both have to address their different versions of grief
Yeah.
at the same time, which I thought was a really cool, like a real and that's something that I don't know if we would see in an earlier MCU Hawkeye show.
No.
I think having it where it is
It's good to see him like kind of at the end of the road.
it's nice to see these characters deal with the effects of Infinity War and Endgame. It's nice to see that like the sequence when she gets blipped is fucking amazing.
Holy shit! Yeah, right. You don't even think about the fact that what happened to her during the blip.
She didn't.
She was
that
blipped.
wasn't 5 minutes for her. That was
yeah.
seconds, and
Yep.
it's like, oh my god, that's insane. Because it's such
because like the paint is different and like, oh my god, yeah, that was crazy.
there's a family now, and the woman she was like, and that's what I mean is like, I was talking to Ashley about that. You know how fucking horrifying that would be to just you think it's a second when you think it's you blink your eyes and then it's 5 years. Like that's nuts.
Right now, we're doing a podcast in 2021. Okay, now this is imagine like you
we
and me
stop
both-
recording.
No, we're recording and we pause it, and then when we come back to record again, it's 2026.
Fucking That's horrifying.
Your kid is 5 years old.
That's what I mean. Is like, what about families that like
Cooper,
husbands and like spouses that moved on and started a whole new family,
right?
Because 5 years is a long time. That'd be nuts. Yeah, and that's what I like, that you're seeing all of these shows deal with that in different ways. WandaVision deals with it.
Yeah, that was a really cool way.
Falcon and Winter Soldier has a more of a geopolitical aspect to it.
Yep.
You know, and now you have Spider-Man have his stuff. Like it's such a cool.
I'm gonna have to binge Loki again.
Yeah, Loki dealing with it. Loki understanding that he dies in the grand scheme of things and all that shit. Yeah, it's so cool to see where the Phase 4 is going. But
I like it.
I think I loved Hawkeye so much because it was so grounded and it was so
Me too.
back to basics, and I love that about it.
Is it time to watch the Vikings yet?
What did you think about Kingpin?
You
were kind of let down by
Well,
that.
okay, so now, if he's coming back, great. But to be honest, if he's not, if that's all they did with it, then fucking fuck you, Feige.
Yeah, that sucks.
That's bullshit.
If they don't bring him back. But I think they are, because they didn't show him getting shot.
They gotta be.
And I think they're going to do the comics thing where it blinds him.
Yeah, I liked how they did. Okay, I liked how they did like some camera tricks to make him look bigger than he did like in Daredevil.
Yeah, he's huge.
Like he's like 7 feet tall. And like just massive. The way they filmed it and showed him with other people. Which I liked that a lot.
Well, I was looking up some theories where like people thought he had superpowers in this. And then somebody was like, no, that's just Kingpin and how he is in the comics.
In the comics, he's just dense as fuck.
Yeah, like he took an arrow to the chest in this and broke it off, no problem.
Yeah.
He got hit by some trick arrows, no problem. Got hit by a fucking car and got up. So like, and I love that. I love that they're going to go more of a comic style Fisk, because you know what that means? He's even more fucking horrifying than he is now.
Dude, he's badass.
I love it. I don't necessarily, because you didn't like, you weren't, I don't know, you thought that it fell off his performance.
I felt like it was forced a little bit. I know it's weird, but it felt like he was trying.
Honestly, I think
like he was trying to lower his voice, like if I did.
I think you should.
What are you doing?
I think you should go back and watch Daredevil a little bit.
You should shut up.
Because fuck your criticism.
Fuck you, man.
No, because
what
I've always noticed about his performance is the way that he's played Kingpin is that it's almost like it pains him to speak.
Okay, I think that's what I was
the
getting
delivery
wrong.
that he
That's
had.
what I was getting wrong. Yeah, okay.
In Daredevil,
dude. By the way, I just want to reiterate that the episode in Daredevil season 1 that they deal with Kingpin's childhood.
Yeah, that's
what
fucked
the
up.
fuck, dude.
I was a boy.
What the fuck?
And like, yeah,
awesome.
Yeah, I love it. I love Vincent D'Onofrio.
All right, I'm gonna go. I got a Vikings game to watch.
You're just gonna leave me?
Yep.
You're just gonna walk right out of the studio,
see you, buddy.
Not even gonna say.
Just go ahead and stay
No,
open.
Well,
just go upstairs to your.
Jesus, thanks so much for listening to this one. Sorry we didn't go a little bit more in depth for Hawkeye.
Fuck you with Hawkeye.
Oh
man.
shit. I was kind of disappointed. I just.
What did you?
No, I just wish there was a little bit more. I just wish there was another episode.
Me too. I think they wrapped up everything pretty well. I think they're gonna, move forward into stuff. I think it was interesting that what's her name used to be a SHIELD agent. Clearly,
yeah, Agent 19. Mockingbird, maybe.
That's what everybody's thinking.
That's the theory.
Mockingbird in the comics is so hot.
But yeah, I'm interested to see what. Oh, and by the way, shout out to Rogers the Musical. That was fucking hilarious. That mid-credit scene, man, made me.
I sat through it, and the entire time I'm like, I don't want to sit through this anymore. I better get something cool at the end. Like honestly,
Save the City is a banger, dude.
No, fuck off.
An amazing song.
No,
fuck you.
No,
fuck you.
I was hoping. Towards the end of this
is the Matrix Resurrections all over.
Towards the end of the sequence, they show a shot where it's far away from the stage and the audience, like kind of behind the audience, right, looking towards the stage, and I was sitting there going, "Okay, I've sat through this piece of shit this long.
Whoa,
you better fucking show.
Whoa,
hang on, you better show me like Kingpin in the audience." Or somebody in the audience watching it that's like, holy fucking shit.
You know what they should have done for you because you had to sit through that?
What?
$1 million, bitch.
Yep.
Pay it up. Up right now.
Or
if you don't pay him, you know what he's gonna do?
I'll eat your ass.
Here's the sound he'll make. And then afterwards,
Pizza time.
What?
that's how you end the show.
overall,
ladies
if
and
we had to
gentlemen.
rate it out of 10, what would you give Hawkeye the whole show?
The whole show, I'd give it a 7.5 to 8. It's definitely
I
up
would
there.
I would agree. I would say 8.
I think most of the shows, I don't think any of them I would give them a 10 because I think having shows lends them to having filler stuff that isn't necessary.
yeah.
But I also get that sometimes that stuff is necessary to tell a story. So I'm not gonna really downplay.
I like that. I like that
they
they
mostly get 8s.
I like that they built on how these guys deal with the trauma of what happened in the Infinity Saga.
Yeah.
And what's what left.
But I'd say
so I'm interested in that aspect, but I do agree. I think that they get buckled by their own made up rules of 6-hour shows instead of just making the show they want to make. Just do the show you want to do.
Just reveal that it was Galactus the whole time, man. It's cool.
Yeah, come on, man. But overall, I think Hawkeye is my favorite for sure.
Okay.
And I really enjoyed it.
Good.
I really enjoyed The Matrix as well. Eventually,
Loved it.
at some
I
point.
loved it.
Hope you guys enjoyed
I'm
that.
gonna
Next
marry it.
week, the
I'm gonna
award
marry it.
show. It's to end all award shows. It's gonna be the is it Opties? Opties?
Okay, what is the what is-
OPOT
What OPOT
is what off panel
awards? OPOTA.
The Opties.
The Opatas. We're gonna have the Opatas.
Let's call them the Offies. Off panel, off topic. The
the
Offies.
Offies. The Off Peas.
The Off Peas. Off TPs. Off TPs. Off T. Off.
Nope. See, now we're getting canceled
What?
because we said TP.
I mean, like toilet paper. Like
no,
TP.
totally. I get you. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. See, I'm just ready to cancel this motherfucker over here.
Anything can cancel us now, dude.
Dude, you know what? Cancel culture is so bad. I'm ready to cancel you.
Cancel culture's so bad, I have to hold you responsible for the shit you say. It's like, what? What? And I say, if you want to have free speech.
Godspeed, Spider-Man.
No. You
know-
notice the people that bitch about cancel culture are just rich people. It's like, nobody's canceling you. You're rich.
Yeah. Why the
Fucking-
fuck do you care?
Anyway,
Just
let's
sit here,
say
yeah.
next week, award show.
the Opatas.
And that's it.